Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Blodgett Show. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and I want to welcome you to this bonus episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this bonus episode. Once again, guys, welcome. Appreciate you being here. The motivation for this bonus episode is just to come on here real quick, because by the time you guys see this one, I have a little bit of a surprise for you. I know I've had a little bit of I've kind of fallen back a little bit. Still deal with a lot of stuff, but I'm always talking about keep moving forward, keep pushing forward, keep believing, believe you can, believe you will. And you're already halfway there, then just have to go out there and do it. And I know that with a lot of us, I know it can be a challenge. I know some days are better than others. Some weeks are better than others. Hell, some months and years are better than others, where like maybe somebody goes 6 months to a year and they're just the entire time they're just like, man, I just don't know what I'm doing. You know, I just don't know how I'm gonna get out of this funk. I don't know how I'm gonna solve this problem. I don't know how I'm going to make such and such better. And that's understandable, you know? And for me, as a podcast host, hell, as an entrepreneur, you know, trying to do, and as an author, you know, trying to do everything I'm trying to do on the side. I love my job. Don't get me wrong. I'll always be a passionate driver at heart. Like, it's always something I've had a passion for. I could hit the road, like literally pretty much every time we go on vacation. Surprisingly, this last time we went on vacation, my wife actually offered to drive. She said, just let me know if you need me to take over. Most of the time, I know she will if I ask her, but most of the time she doesn't flat out offer. You know, it's just literally get behind the wheel and I'll drive the full 550 miles. And so, you know, it's just how I am, you know. Maybe one of these days, like if we're going on a long trip, like if she were to ever ride with me to Oklahoma, the 800 miles, I might actually take her up on it, because that's a long trip. I've done that. I've done that road trip a couple times too, you know, and it's not hard. It's tiring, but it's not hard. But it's one of those things that it's like I can do my current job and not have a problem. Like literally like tonight, like for instance, this week, as I've told you guys in previous episodes, the issue I'm having in my job, you know, with my current contractor with FedEx that I'm driving for, been with them since March of 2023, I believe. I think. So it's been like a year. Yeah, a little over, probably about what we're going on, like March, April, May, June, July. So a year and 5 months, roughly. And I can tell you I can count on one hand the number of times I've actually called out of work. Literally, it was like once, and it was because I was sick. And the funny thing was, I still ran my load that night. I mean, I came down with it halfway to Farina out there in the Illinois drop I do, or that I'm supposed to do. But ever since coming back in this past March with the, you know, with my daughter and with the car that we brought back from my parents, for whatever reason, I've been getting told one thing from my boss, and it's kind of changed a bunch of times. Like, oh, your load switch to a 9 a.m. run. Oh, you're a nighttime driver, so I have someone else doing Farina, and you're in standby at night. There were a lot of weeks that happened after that point that I had 1 or 2 days each week that I just never heard shit. So my load, like, I just ended up basically being home not working, and then the next day I would work. Or I think I had 1 week that I didn't have to hear anything for 2 days. I was just basically home going, so what's going on? Like, are we working? And he's like, I don't know. I'll get back to you. Like, okay, this is not, it's not going to end well. I'm going to probably be looking at another job here shortly. I have many occasions where I've got so many saved. You know, you type up an email, but then if you don't send it, it ends up being a draft in your inbox, you know. So I have I have quite a few drafts, probably about a dozen or more, where I've written an email to my boss's boss, like the top people in the company, basically talking about, like, I don't know what's going on because I'm supposed to be running this other route, and whenever I would run it, the team that I meet up with tells me, oh no, we're still running at the same time. Like, we're meeting John, which is my boss's assistant. You know, he's like, you know, and I'm like, well, I don't know why they're having him run it. Like, I'm supposed to be on that run. That's what I was hired to do. So, but many drafts of emails that I've contemplated. Do I send this off and complain, saying that, like, look, like, that was my run. Now I'm losing days. I'm having weeks where I'm not making that much. I'm falling behind on bills, all that stuff. And then I would, of course, opt to not send that email because I'm going, yeah, if I don't want to stir a hornet's nest just yet. So I just, with my wife telling me, like, why, this is bullshit, you gotta say something. And I'm like, I'm talking to him, you know, I'm asking him what's going on, like, why, you know. And the problem with my current job is, and this is probably going to be a topic, but the problem with my job is I'm being told a bunch of BS. I feel like it's a bunch of BS because I'm one of those, like, you know, like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I won't necessarily not believe you until you give me a reason to not believe you. You know, like, if I meet up with somebody and we're talking and they're telling me something, I'm not going to necessarily question it and say that, oh, unless it's, like, really far-fetched. But I am going to, you know, give the benefit of the doubt. Oh, wow, that's cool, that's awesome. Oh man, that's pretty badass, you know. But if I'm talking to that person on another occasion and something's happened, or they've revealed that they're deceitful, like that they're telling stories, and you find out it's not true, stuff like that, then I start to question, you know. So let's just say I've had a lot that I've been told, and the reason why I'm kind of trying to use less details right now is because, like I said, I have some planned. And so, don't want to say too much in this bonus episode because it plans for what's coming next, you know. But let's just say lots been promised, lots been said, and then of course it keeps changing, you know. So I am, when I mentioned, like, podcast host, which obviously you guys are here listening, and author, you know, which with that I've got literally, I read something recently when I was kind of researching some stuff, because my dream is to be able to get myself out of what I'm currently doing, be home full-time, be full-time podcaster, full-time online entrepreneur, full-time author. And so I've got the businesses online, or, you know, the online businesses, which, you know, got the one that I always promote. Let's see, if you go to blogtheshow.com/freedom, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's got four educational online courses that They kind of teach you how to go about learning how to be a digital marketer, how to build your following, all that fun stuff. Like not just how to market online, but how to actually like grow your following, from zero, brand to beginners, all that stuff. So I'm still working on that, but I also have some other online digital e-learning products that I'm going to be offering really soon. Probably not with this round of what you guys are gonna be able to listen to this week, but probably within the next week or so, I will be including those along with the Legacy Builder program, the one that's basically launchashow.com/freedom. I'll have a couple other options for y'all as well that are a lot more cost effective, a lot more affordable, But kind of, it's one of those things in anything you do, whether you're a podcaster or whether you're an entrepreneur, if something isn't quite what you want it to be, you don't necessarily have to quit. Because I'm all about, like you said, keep pushing forward, keep trying, keep believing, whatever. And so I wouldn't recommend, especially if it's something that you're passionate about, I wouldn't recommend to anybody they quit doing what they're doing. You may not be seeing yourself as successful just yet, but you just got to keep at it, keep doing what you're doing, and eventually down the road, a couple years or whatever, when things have taken off and you've literally, you're still doing what you're doing, but now you're making money with it. You get people, people are, let's say, like in my case, like I look forward to being able to be similar, I guess, like be as far as the number, like the success level of like other podcasters that I'm listening to, which to give you guys a little bit, do little shout outs, not a paid advertisement, of course, but just to, here's at least 2 podcasts I've listened to. I think I've mentioned to you guys before. There's a podcast host named Scott Johnson, has a podcast called What Was That Like? Pretty amazing podcast. I actually started, he's been going for years, and I think I started like a year ago, and I kind of started at episode 1, and I literally binge listened and worked my way through and whatnot, and basically his whole podcast is basically he interviews people that have been in basically very unique, very unreal, like very like stuff that you, in situations that you wouldn't even know how to really, like, how you deal with it, Like there was a guy that I think one episode was a guy that wanted to try cannibalism, so he ate, like, he got into an accident and his foot got amputated, and so he and a bunch of friends, they ate his foot, like had a chef prepare. Yeah, so that was probably, out of all his episodes I've listened to, that was probably one of the most, I would say I had the most difficulty actually getting through that one. Still listen to the full episode, but I thought, wow, that was very that was very unique. But that's what made it amazing, But he has all sorts of, he has like 170 episodes so far, and I've only recently, within the last 2 months, caught up. And I'm now current, so I have to do the dreaded, you wait for the new one to post, and then, all right, cool, we'll do an episode. But he now has a Tuesday segment that it's called the Tuesday Question with a lady named Meredith. I guess, I don't know where, I'm not sure exactly. I know he has a private Facebook group, but off the top of my head, and I'm not a part of the Facebook group just yet. It's on my list. Definitely gotta join. But I don't know where they get their question from. I don't know if it's from the Facebook group or whatnot. But they have a Tuesday question, and Meredith is now co-host with him for that Tuesday question episode. So, they do their episode and they talk about whatever the question is, and they go back and forth or whatever. And it's pretty awesome. And she has her own podcast as well that I've only recently started. I recently actually started doing. Initially I did what I did with Scott's podcast. I started episode 1, which of course on that episode, I'd recommend you go to episode 40 because, you know, like things have like gotten a lot better, you know, versus these first handful of episodes, whatever. And I'm like, well, I listened to the first 1 or 2 episodes, and then I went ahead and listened to the current episode. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to listen to the current episodes. And then every so often I'll jump back to the, you know, back in the early ones and then jump back to the current, you know, more of the current ones. But I've literally just like, it's been working its way back. So I started the current episode. It's kind of been going back in time, kind of. But the funny thing was, there was the episode I just listened to was her interviewing Scott, surprisingly. You know, and she mentions his podcast quite a bit, you know, like his and 1 or 2 other podcasts. But definitely, it's her episode. Her show is called Meredith For Real, A Curious Introvert. I would recommend both, you know, check both those podcasts out. The What Was That Like podcast, which you can find more whatwasthatlike.com, and then Meredith For Real. Really, really amazing. Both their podcasts was like, you know, I actually ended up sending, I think I sent like 2 or 3 different random emailed voice clips to Scott about certain episodes or whatever. Like Scott, holy crap, like, you know, I had a question about such and such, like what happened, because he just died, like did he the heart attack, what? And then I think I messaged him when I got to the very end and basically told him, like, I'm loving your podcast, man. Obviously, keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, I was like, I'm hating that now I have to wait for new episodes. Because it's like, oh, man, it sucks. I don't want to wait. Because when you, especially, like, I'm a driver. So it's like, it makes my time go by really quick. Or a lot easier. Not really quick, because it's still going to drive for however many hours. But it doesn't feel that bad when I had just let it play from one episode to the next. So definitely check them out. Really awesome. But back to what I was talking about before, guys. I get a little sidetracked. So you know, we just like, and I kind of had a little bit of a brain fart going on too. I'm like, all right, I kind of lost my train of thought. Like, all right, gotta get back on track. But so yeah, I mentioned obviously I'm a podcaster, which you guys already know. And then of course I'm an author. I've got 2 books that they're in the works. One of which is going to be from this show, actually, like the like Storytime Friday episodes. Because like I said, up until about 2 or 3 months back, I was actually literally trying to find time on my days off, and I would actually get my computer out and I would come up with the story, and then I would actually write out the story, and then I would, you know, hit record and I'd read the story for you guys. And then I started struggling to be able to find time to be able to get on the computer to write. So then I started just hitting record. I call them freestyle episodes, where I would come up with the story off the top of my head. You know, did that for a little while, and I know that I haven't had a Storytime Friday episode for a little bit. I know it's been like 2 weeks since I've had a Real Talk, so that's why I'm trying to get what I'm doing this week to give you guys some stuff, give you guys a couple things. So there's a couple surprises coming up, you know, after this episode. You know, gonna give you guys a little bit extra to kind of try to make up for the fact that I've kind of been slacking. So apologies on that. Still here, not going anywhere. That's not gonna change. It's just sometimes, you know, when you deal with sometimes we have life struggles, you know, and it's hard to stay motivated to keep at it. But that's why I will never recommend that somebody quits, gives up, and walks away, because then you have failed. You're not a failure at all in what you're doing if you keep trying. Like if you keep working at it, you keep doing what you're doing, putting in the daily effort. You know, it's like when I'm going live for doing my online entrepreneurial stuff, trying to sell, you know, trying to do business online. I'm not where I want to be. Not making the sales like I want to make, but I'm not having quit. Like, I've stepped back a little bit. I haven't been doing lives as much, and I, you know, haven't been posting like for like 3 months. It was like literally when I first started doing that Legacy Builder program, I was literally being proactive, like every day, 3 videos that would post on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, my blog, LinkedIn, and then I would go live on Facebook. And I have like, I mean, in this 3 months that I've been active in the business, I have at least probably around 475 on my email list that came through my page and put their email in there. Got to see what it is, and I probably had like 30 people over that time that messaged me and said that I'm really interested. I just don't have the money for it, which is $900. I understand, you know. That's why I would sometimes push the cheaper ones, the 100, the 300, or the 600, because you know they're a little bit cheaper, but still, you know, you get a lot of people that are like, hey, any chance I could join for free? Sorry, I can't just give you access. It doesn't work that way. You know, you got to go through and do the purchase, and then you get that next $29 page that gives you your website and get you access to the community and all that stuff. You know? So it's like, but the things I'm currently working on with these other digital stores online and stuff, you know, they're a little bit cheaper, but I'm still grateful for what I've currently been through with my Legacy Builder business because of the fact that I've learned skills that I didn't have before, so I kind of have an idea how I want to go about getting my new, you know, the new, products that I'm offering, get them out there. You know, if I was starting brand new, I would have no clue what to do right now. But, you know, we all got to start somewhere. So it's like, but I haven't failed though. You know, like I may have stepped back. I may not be quite as active at the moment, but I'm just, what you got to do, whether it's in your business, in your podcasts, you know, entrepreneur, whatever, or your job, you just got to pivot. You know, do a little bit of a pivot. You change things up a little bit. You know, start doing, maybe you change things up a little bit, do things a little bit differently, or you try something new. It's like me getting these new products that I'm getting active. I don't want to replace what I was doing with Legacy Builder. I'm still going to have that out there, you know, because I want to have the opportunity for multiple streams of income. You know, there'll be people will still be able to buy the $900 Legacy Builder program, or the $600 passive, digital mastery, or the $300 passive daily paid blueprints, or these other three products that I'm, about to be going live with and offering that are a lot cheaper, anywhere between like $50 and $100. So a lot more affordable, but but it's just a matter of like I'm just making some changes, and there's other things that I'm going to be getting into. You know, that'll help and stuff, because I'm all about, like, that's, you could say all of that with all the crap going on with my job would be, basically working these other, like tonight I did a Chattanooga run. It's all me trying to pivot, and I joke with my wife saying that all these things I'm doing, these businesses on the side that I'm doing, the entrepreneurial stuff, is basically me working on my exit plan, my exit strategy. Because and it's one of those things that I'm not going to message my boss and tell him, hey, if I don't get back on my run full time, like you're telling me, I'm going to leave, because I don't want to put that out there. I mean, yes, I am thinking about it, and yes, I'm looking into options, and I'm working on stuff on the side to eventually give myself options, either to leave, or if I have the money and we're not struggling because of the side stuff, and I decide, okay, I'm not going to leave, but at the very least, I would be taking a lot more vacations, and he'd probably be pissed. He'd probably be pissed at me, whatever, be like, well, Chris is always taking vacations. Like, well, I'm always, like, you have me doing these overnight runs where I'm doing a lot more of the physical work, and you have John running the route I'm supposed to be on. Like, the team communicates with me and tells me, hey, yeah, like, when are you coming back on this run? We miss you. And I'm like, well, I miss being out there too, because I was hired for that run. So, but anyway, y'all, so don't want to go too long, because this, especially being a bonus episode, wanted to at least come on here and want to say I am working on getting back in the groove and, not being AWOL from you guys any longer. So at the very least, I'm trying to at least make sure I can get Real Talk Tuesday episodes, recorded for you guys. I do still plan to do stories. It's just like one of the things I am working on currently, with me trying to continue pushing forward. I don't want to just work my job for the next 30 years and keep saying someday, because sadly, for a lot of us are just talkers, and a lot of us will say someday, and then we get to where we're old, we're on our deathbed or whatever, and we're looking back and we have regrets because we never actually went after the things that we wanted, and instead we just, it's like one of the things in that aspect is my wife. Love her, she's amazing, beautiful, smart, funny. One of the things about her that I find interesting, though, is, at least currently, there's a lot of talk, I guess, about, the dreams, like to get a food truck and stuff like that. Like, she'll constantly send me listings of houses, like anything that we've paid off or whatever. For the most part, has been me basically, working with whoever we're working through and making the payments and eventually get that account paid off. And, so I'm pretty sure getting us our house and getting us a food truck is mostly going to be me carrying us out that dirt, carrying us to that goal or whatever, which is fine. That's what I've been doing and whatever. But one of the things that the other day, she was talking about somebody at work, and I don't know who the lady was. I think it was somebody from a neighboring restaurant that's in the same building as hers. She said that this person has a food truck they've already purchased. They've got a investor, and they have a plan for, like, she's not gonna, when she starts doing the food truck, she's not gonna take a paycheck until the investor is fully paid back and stuff like that. And when my wife was telling me about it, I thought it was kind of funny, because she was like, must be nice. And I was like, I didn't want to. Part of what I thought, like the thought that went through my head when we were talking about that was like, well, you could be doing that too. Like, all you have to do is, you make a plan, you decide what you want to achieve, you figure out, okay, what do we need, and maybe you go find somebody who can be an investor, and you may work out a plan with them, like a deal. Hey, if you'll help me out with this, blah blah blah, and I'll pay you back such and such, or I'll give you this percentage of my, a stake in them, or share, or whatever, or ownership in the company, and you do it, And I didn't say that. That was kind of what I was thinking. So I'm kind of thinking, like, all you gotta do is just go out there and make it happen. Like, you could do that too, but it's just the way our minds work. Like me, I'm actively out here. My wife will say she is actively trying to do it too, but I'm out here actively doing things that's to try to make things better. Yes, I'm working my job, but I'm currently working on, that's part with the book. That's part of why I haven't kind of been slacking on the Storytime Fridays, mainly because it's like you gotta decide, like, if you have limited time. Like, lately it's been, okay, do I focus on trying to make sure I get a story for the podcast, or do I work on trying to get my novel completed, my book, that I started back in 2010, and it kind of just recently, within the past 6 or 8 months, kind of started to try to get back into it, to try to complete that. And I was reading something online about this research, and okay, how do we, I don't even remember the specific topic I was trying to research, but it was basically about publishing. Because I've heard a lot about, like, yeah, if you can get published online, like on Amazon and Kindle and stuff like that, like, at least have a digital publishing and not necessarily a physical book, paperback or whatever. But if it could be, like, published online, where you have ebooks and stuff that you can literally start, that could be a stream of income. Like, you can publish online and start making sales and start making money. But what I read online said something about that they recommend having at least 3 books and that way we publish the first one, and then after a little while you can publish your second one, and then by the time you're your third one, you could actually drop the price a little bit on your first one because you're already making active current sales on that one, and then basically then you have 3 books published out there, and you're doing good. And I'm like, well, technically I already have 2 because I have a group of written stories for the Blodgett Show Storytime Fridays that are gonna go. That's basically give you guys a little bit of a teaser, I guess, that those stories that I recorded for, that I read for you guys. Those stories I'm gonna compile together, the ones I currently have, and those are gonna be Blodgett Show Podcast Short Stories Volume 1. Which means that I plan, whenever I can, I plan to get back into actually writing the actual stories, and there's gonna be future volumes like Volume 2, Volume 3. But so I've got the Blodgett Show Volume 1, and then I've got my current book that I'm actively working on that I've added a decent amount to. It's definitely, I would say, a little bit more than halfway done, probably maybe 2/3 of the way done, but so I got those 2 books. So that means that if I'm going by the 3-book plan, then technically I just need to get those compiled, get those all set, like put together, and then I just need to work on the 3rd one. I kind of have a couple ideas as far as what I would want my 3rd book to be about, but basically, like I said, like I'm just pushing forward. I'm a guy with many hats. I've got the podcast, got the books, got the multiple online digital products, different, as far as like my online business, the entrepreneurial, venture and all that fun stuff. And, just doing whatever I can to continue to move forward, move in the right direction. Because anytime that you're like, what I've said in the past, like anytime, like if something changes, like if you want to leave your job, you want to make a life change or whatever, you always want to move forward. You don't want to necessarily, leave one job and take another job paying less or giving you worse hours, or not. You want to be able to leave, take another job, either making the same that you're making before, but maybe you're getting better hours. And so sorry, I just had to, it's like watching the truck in my mirror going, are you gonna let me pass? And he exited. It's like, oh, cool, all right. So I have a car that's kind of literally right on my bumper. I'm like, yeah, I better go ahead, let him pass me. But so that's part of why anytime I've left a job, it's usually been because all of a sudden something changed and I went from making what I'm making to making less. And I'm kind of in that situation right now a little bit with my current job, but again, not going to go too much into that because I'm going to try to say that's part of topic I'm going to cover for one of y'all's extras I'm going to be giving you this week. So, but anyway, on that note, I'm going to call this episode, or call that it for this episode, mainly because it's being a bonus one, and since I have other plans, I don't want to necessarily, I don't want to, it's only just blanked. It happens, I'm sure you guys have it where, like, you have a topic you're talking about, and all of a sudden, mid-sentence, you're like, what was I talking about? Happens to me a lot because of being tired, but, But anyway, y'all, as always, for anybody who wants to learn how to, learn how to do the skills of digital marketing, how to build your following from zero, how to start, basically being able to figure out how to start making money online, even if you've never done it before. We have programs anywhere from $100 to $900 as far as the Legacy Builder. That's the $900 one. You get all the basically any of those programs you get that one plus the ones below it. So with the Legacy Builder, you get all 4 programs. If you go with the $600 one, you get that one plus the 300 and the 100. Now, if you get the 300, you get 300 passive daily pay and then the $100 launch pad. Anybody that does the $100 launch pad, they literally only get the launch pad. That basically focuses on social media, but there's no pyramid, 100% commissions. So if you do a $900 legacy sale, you literally get the full $900. But anybody wants to learn more about that, go to blodgettshow.com/freedom and put your email in there and reply back to my email with any questions you might have and check it out. You know, like, just watch that short video, scroll through the page a little bit, get the information, click I'm ready if you want to actually move forward with it, and just pick which program you want to do and go for it. You get access to a community, and you get literally step-by-step video training. So you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. They basically lots of interactive training and whatnot. They can teach you how to start basically figuring things out. So again, blodgettshow.com/freedom and check it out. I already mentioned those 2 podcasts, but I'll mention them again. Anybody looking for a really great show, both the What Was That Like podcast with Scott Johnson and Meredith for Real with Meredith. Definitely check those out. Those are amazing. They interview people, really cool topics. Well, not cool topics, especially with like Scott's podcast. Some of the situations can be a little rough, because it's stuff that people went through or whatever. That's why it's called What Was That Like, But I think you guys won't be disappointed for sure. So Meredith for Real and What Was That Like? And again, as always, like my bro Rico. I know he's got a bunch of really good episodes out there, and he's working on getting the next one. Taking him a minute. He's going through some stuff, and it's been hard to push forward and stuff. But you know how it is, guys. You gotta just keep, even if you take a step back and you struggle for a little bit, all you gotta do is you just you do what you can. So if you love to check out his podcast about the history of hip hop and whatnot. He's really creative. He has a lot of special equipment or whatever. His episodes sound pretty cool. Of course, me, I'm pretty basic because I'm out here doing my job. I'll also do my podcast. So I got my headset, my phone, and then I edit it and stuff from home whenever, But go to blodgettshow.com/Rico, RICCO. And of course, like I mentioned, on not the next little set of what I've got coming out for you, but probably by next week or the week after, I will have a couple more links for you guys to check out other digital, some other products, some educational stuff that can really help people out, including one that's actually a cooking course that if you're somebody who loves to cook but you struggle, or you wish you would that you do you were better at it, perhaps. I'm trying to figure out what would be the best way to word it. That's why I was you wish you had more skills or whatever. I'm gonna have a link for you pretty soon, so I'll be giving that out here. Just give you guys little teasers, as well as how to become a master affiliate marketer and how to a lot cheaper option as far as how to learn how to be a digital marketer, because I know a lot of people can't afford $900, $600, hell, even $100. So that's why there's that one that I have. It's gonna be available really soon. It's $49. So, but on that note, like I always say, guys, keep pushing forward, keep believing, believe you can, believe you will, and you're already halfway there. And then you just have to go out there and do it. We gotta believe. We gotta just, gotta keep believing in ourselves, guys. We we only fail if we quit, give up, and walk away. And one of the other things that I wanted to mention too, that a little shout out to Meredith, because I really got like, I don't know how many episodes in her podcast I am right now, but I'm already like hooked. But before starting to listen to, because I listened to Scott's podcast quite a, like I said, it took me a year and I binge listened. I got all the way through all his episodes. And it made me kind of feel, I'm not gonna lie, like as a podcast, even though I'm fairly new, I've only been at it for a year, I felt inferior, because you hear these podcasts, they're like, holy crap, the sound quality and the effects and everything is super amazing. And even though like mine, I feel my episodes, I've made them sound a lot better than they did when I first started. I've come a long way, but I'm nowhere near some of these other podcasts where it's like, holy crap. But like I said, I worked with what I got, so I have, I'm not at home in a private studio having, like with fancy equipment, whatever, being able to like record for hours, get a bunch of shows, a bunch of episodes cranked out. I literally do what I can, and that's all we can do. But for a little bit, the past couple weeks, when I've struggled to actually be able to, because there's an episode that coming up that I recorded technically probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and for whatever reason I just haven't gotten around to getting it out there, so I apologize about that. But I started listening to Meredith's episodes, and she's pretty down to earth. Her podcast is still pretty awesome compared to mine. But hearing her, it kind of made me feel like, all right, like when you hear like somebody's actually like relatable to you, like they can real talk with you, and it's like, I thought, all right, cool. Like there's no one glove or one shoe fits all or whatever for a podcast. Like, no podcast is gonna sound like another podcast or whatever. As far as like how they sound, how they talk, whatever. And so like, even though I might look at my podcast and think, I'm not really that amazing, that great, whatever, but I'm out here doing my best to try to give you guys a good episode. And so it's like, and with the dreams in mind of eventually figuring out how to actually monetize these, which again, still have no idea, still trying to figure that out. I've heard stuff on different podcasts on how this is like, you go flip certain switches to turn certain things on so you can have certain advertisements. I'm like, where do I start doing that though? so if you're a podcaster and you are monetized and you know how to pull it off, feel free to drop me a line to give you some guidance, because I would really appreciate it. Because again, my end goal is to eventually not have to come out here and do what I'm doing, and instead be able to be home full time doing the podcast, doing the online entrepreneurial stuff, writing books, being an author full time. So if you're a podcaster and you know how to monetize or how to start even getting into that area where you're kind of being able to learn the steps, you got to start like the starting points of like what to do, how to do it, who to talk to. Drop me a line at blogshowpodcast@gmail.com, and I'd really appreciate it. That goes for anybody too. That anybody has any suggestions for any topics you guys want me to cover on Real Talk Tuesdays, or any story ideas, for Fridays or whatever. Again, like Storytime Friday isn't going away. It's just I decided recently, like, all right, I need to actually, if I'm gonna actually accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish, eventually get that book, those 2 books published, that I need to focus on those and try to get those completed, and then work on the other stuff as well, but continue to still give you guys real talk, and probably get a story out there every so often when I can. But this is me trying to keep pushing forward as best I can, which again, I apologize, because I know that ideally I'd love to get a Real Talk and a Storytime Friday episode every single week, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. So But anyway, guys, as always, keep pushing forward, keep believing, and keep being awesome. And I hope you guys enjoy the little bit of a episode drop, like massive drop coming up. Not really massive, but more than one. So you guys are literally gonna get a couple different episodes all at the same time, all the same day, and that's mainly me trying to, along with this bonus episode, it's me trying to give you guys some new stuff and try to make up for and apologize, of course, for the fact that I've kind of been slacking. Anyway, on that note, you guys keep being awesome, and I will talk to you guys on the next episode. Have a good one.